Are here. Hold on a second. Alex, come here. Avriel, come here. Carrie, will you take their picture because they just about missed their opportunity? Yes, yes. I didn't see you till just now. All right. You can take my picture at any time over at Flips. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. I'm Scotty Campbell, State Representative for all of Johnson, part of Carter, and part of Sullivan County. And thank you. Thank you. Beautiful night here in Northeast Tennessee, I must say. And I want to thank the hosts for tonight's event, Tom and Belinda Reese, Joe Zimmerman. Joe is also with Republicans of Kingsport. Former County Mayor Dick Grayson and Irene, where are you? Thank you so much for your friendship and for your help and for everything you've done for this county and this community. Perry Stout, attorney at law and candidate for General Sessions Judge. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that yet. I understand there may be a vacancy there. Chairman of the Johnson County Commission, my longtime personal friend, as some folks we used to know used to say. Bobby the Brain Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon. Anyway, Chairman of the Johnson County Commission, Scott Mast. Scott, thank you for your friendship and thank you for your leadership. Needed now more than ever. Gary Melvin and Tiny Robertson are here somewhere, or they were. Maybe they cut out already. They're hosts as well. And where is he? Wayne Ward, will you raise your hand? He just left. Well, since he's not here and in his absence, you guys know how to boo, right? Will you join me in booing my favorite local Democrat? Boo! Thank you. You know, why not? You've got to have some flavor at these things, right? We're people too. All right. I'm going to tell you a few things and then I'll turn it over to our esteemed guest. And that is that my colleagues have entrusted me with the responsibility of being the majority assistant floor leader in the Tennessee House of Representatives. That is not something that I take lightly. There are 95 counties and nearly 7 million people in this state, depending largely and counting on us to do the right thing every step of the way, and I'm thankful for that opportunity. I'm very glad to be able to serve on the House Finance, Ways and Means Committee, the Appropriations Subcommittee, Criminal Justice Committee, and Transportation Committee, all of which have their own specific areas of focus and are important to our future. A couple of things I'm working on I want you to know about. One of those, I work with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, in that we are trying to get some roads resurfaced in all of the 3 counties that I represent, all are part of. You see some of that evidence right here behind us. Can we give those folks a big hand for this freshly paved 5-lane highway that needed some updating? I don't know how many of you love the outdoors and love boats, but the folks in Carter and Sullivan are pleased with their access to Watauga Lake and South Holston Lake. The folks here in Johnson County are disappointed, and a lot of times I think feel forgotten. We're working with the TWRA, also the U.S. federal government, some of the partner organizations there, departments, to try to get a new boat ramp for the people of Johnson County and those who want to hit the lake here rather than driving about 45 minutes or so down the road. So let's give a mutual hand for that. That's a good cause, something we're working on. I filed legislation this year, passed into law, signed by Governor Bill Lee, making Tennessee a Second Amendment sanctuary state. Yes, and with the types of threats, and I will call them that, threats we are hearing out of Washington, D.C., that's exactly the type of thing we need to do. It calls for the ouster of a public official that violates our Second Amendment. And I want to thank Bob Harshbarger, standing over here. Bob, will you raise your hand? His wife is our member of Congress, Congresswoman Diana Harshbarger, who's doing a great job representing the people of Northeast Tennessee in Washington, D.C. And she leans upon us more than you know, to do the right thing at the state level so we don't have to worry about our, we've got to put in what protections we can here at the state level. But most of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for your support. and mention a couple more things, and I'll turn it over. We passed a law this year that the state of Tennessee cannot force you to take a vaccine. We also made the vaccine readily available in all 95 counties in Tennessee for those who choose to take that. And that's called freedom and liberty, and you deserve it every single step of the way in this life. I requested a special session of the Tennessee General Assembly, hoping that we would get that. That request has not been granted so far. I do not want an employer forcing you to take a vaccine or firing you if you don't. That's not the world we should operate in. I'm a big believer in freedom. I want to take this opportunity to invite you all to an event that starts at 6 p.m., which is moments away, at the Johnson County Public Library. This gentleman and I will be speaking there. He'll be talking about term limits. I'll be talking about some other issues, and we hope you choose to join us if possible. I'd like to welcome our guest at this time, a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, known as KANE in World Wrestling Entertainment, known to the people in Northeast Tennessee, and I hope, I'll say it in public, I hope known statewide at some point when there's a vacancy. I have someone to fill a vacancy, don't you? The mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. A warm welcome for Glenn Jacobs, a gentleman I'm proud to now call my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. State Rep. I appreciate that very much. It's wonderful to be here tonight. Man, it's beautiful up here, y'all. So they got cameras running, so I'm a little nervous about saying this. This is the most beautiful part of the state of Tennessee. Okay, it's just gorgeous up here, and wonderful people as well. It's nice to see some old friends as well as meeting some new ones. You know, I watch the news, and I still, every once in a while, have to travel the country. It's shocking to see what's going on in parts of America. In fact, I don't recognize parts of America anymore. And for me, it's one of those things like, that's your all state, it's your all city, it's your all's business. The problem is that that's not how they see it. And here in Tennessee, we have something very special. But they want to force what they're doing there onto us here. And that's a big problem, especially for those of us who are conservatives and who do believe in Tennessee values. First and foremost, as my friend Scott said, is freedom and people's ability to choose what they want to do with their life. So you go around the country now, and there's talk of defunding the police. Don't quite understand that one, but it's the real thing. And it's funny because you're like, I think a lot of folks didn't think that the Democrats and liberals were serious about the things that they were talking about. Oh, they're serious about it. Okay, that's what they want to do. They talk about critical race theory in our schools. And I mean, America has a history that there are bad things that have happened here, but there are also a lot of good things. And we should teach all of it as opposed to focusing on the bad stuff, and to really, from a very young age, try to divide people as much as we possibly can. We look at taxes. In Tennessee, we are the third most friendly tax state in the country when it comes to local and state taxes. No state income tax. That is a huge deal. People move to Tennessee specifically because of that. You look at what's happening in the rest of the country with babies and fetuses, I guess is what it's easier to call a baby a fetus when you believe in abortion. But now it's almost to the point to where it's even babies, that the abortion folks they've just gone completely off the rails. And you look at, as Scotty mentioned, gun rights. I told folks when the pandemic kicked off that the real issue was and I do believe COVID-19 is a serious issue, but from a political standpoint, the danger was the precedent that's being set by government doing all the stuff that it was doing. And I said, and people did not believe me, but I said, just wait until they declare gun violence a public health crisis. People told me I was wrong. And then Andrew Cuomo, before he got kicked out of office, Andrew Cuomo said gun violence is a public health crisis in New York. Then President Biden said gun violence is a public health crisis. And they're going to use the same powers that they unconstitutionally and illegally took, using COVID-19 as justification, as an excuse to take guns and our gun rights, but many of our other freedoms. As a local mayor, I can't really do a whole lot about that. I did write a letter to President Biden with my thoughts on his vaccine mandate. It wasn't very nice because I agree that people should be able to make a choice and they shouldn't be forced into doing something. But as county mayor, there's only so much that I can do. The power lies with the states. And we are getting to a point in our country's history where the states are going to have to step in and tell the federal government, you're not going to do that in Tennessee. And we have a really good thing going in Tennessee. We don't want it ruined. We don't want Tennessee to look like New York. We don't want Tennessee to look like California. They can do their own thing, but we're going to remain Tennessee. And that's why the state government is so important. And that's why people like Scotty Campbell are so important. Because he stands for what I stand for. He stands for what all of you stand for. As he mentioned, the committees that he's on, all of that's really important. But the number one thing is he gets it. He understands. It's about freedom. The thing that ticked me off the most about what President Biden said when he had his press conference about the executive order on vaccine mandates is he said, this is not about freedom or personal choice. This is America. In America, it's always about freedom and personal choice. That has to be the number one thing. And it is alarming to me when the President of the United States doesn't understand that. So we have to have people like Scotty Campbell in Nashville ensuring that people like Joe Biden, actually, and many other folks in Congress aren't able to just steamroll us over and turn us into the things that frankly scare the dickens of us when we look around the rest of the country. So please support Scotty. He's doing a great job. Thank you all for being here. And again, I just appreciate you all allowing me to speak tonight. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you. Mayor, I have a favor. Okay. You and I have to be somewhere momentarily. Yes. Will you be my driver?
Sure.
Thank you. That's cool. I was serious about that, by the way. My truck is parked somewhere else, so you would have better parking over here. I encourage you all to meet us at the Johnson County Public Library, free event with the Johnson County Republican Party. Again, thank you all for your help. Thank you for your friendship. And I want you to join me, if you haven't, on Facebook, Scotty Campbell TN. Other opportunities to contact at scottycampbell.com. Twitter, Scotty is on. And I also want to take a moment to thank our county mayor, one of the hosts for this event that I overlooked on the list, and for that I apologize. He is doing a fantastic job. And that's our county mayor, Mike Taylor. Mayor, thank you for your help. Mayor Glenn Jacobs, thank you. And thank you very much.